Have you ever caught yourself thinking something feels off with the world today? You're not alone. I've sensed it too. And if you've tuned into Netflix's latest offering from A24, the riveting series Beef, I bet you found something in it that struck a chord. In this video essay, we're diving headfirst into the turbulent waters of our current reality, using beef as our compass. We'll unravel the strands of the modern capitalist crisis, explore the thirst for meaning that seems ever out of reach, and reveal fresh insights into why millennials might just be the generation most affected by these tumultuous times. Before we plunge in, remember to subscribe to the Soulful Cinema channel. We're here to take on thought-provoking deep dives into movies, TV shows, and analyses of modern culture that connect with your soul. Let's embark on this journey together. Beef plunges us into the aftermath of a road rage incident that pits two strangers against each other. On one side, we have Danny Cho, a contractor grappling with the specter of failure, and on the other, Amy Lau, a successful entrepreneur who seemingly has it all. Yet, as their feud escalates, it unearths the hidden strains in their lives. From the get-go, it's clear that they're teetering on the brink of burnout, with one factor looming large: money. Danny's contracting business is floundering, leading him to seek financial help from his cousin Isaac, fresh out of jail and tied to the collapse of their parents' hotel venture. This criminal entanglement has left Danny's parents stranded in Korea. The common advice would be for Danny to build a thriving business and all will be well. However, even when we look at Amy, whose business is flourishing, money remains a source of intense stress.
It's like you work so hard for so long just to provide for your family, right?
Yeah, not you, then who's gonna?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then at some point you think you'd get to relax, but no.
She's desperate to sell her business, consumed by work-related burnout and misery. Her husband, who seems unacquainted with the labor of earning money, fails to appreciate Amy's sacrifices to maintain their lifestyle. Instead, he levels accusations of mercenary motives against her.
You are obsessed with money. That's all you ever talk about anymore.
George, I didn't grow up the way you did, okay? Do you ever notice how it's only people who have money that think money isn't important?
Remember how the upper middle class lifestyle was once portrayed in films and TV shows? Picture perfect suburban living with the ease of owning a business and a home? Notice how Amy's reality diverges from this idealized image.
That house that I don't even get to enjoy because I'm always busy working. When do I get to enjoy something, huh? Who's gonna buy Amy something?
That's because the reality has shifted. Millennials were raised on the notion that diligent work would yield the American dream: a picturesque house, a car, and the ability to support a family. Further education or a successful business would elevate this dream to greater heights. For a while, it seemed like this blueprint was working. Millennials poured their energy into their studies and worked tirelessly to ascend the corporate ladder. However, by the time they reached their 30s, the American dream started to crumble.
Yeah, I got a game. It's called Work Hard so my kids can go to college.
Scroll through TikTok, and you'll find countless videos of 30-somethings lamenting the elusive dream.
Not to be dramatic, but I think the worst part about being an adult is that you basically have to choose between financial stability or happiness.
Despite their ceaseless efforts, they're unable to afford a house, as the cost has surged tenfold since their parents' generation, while salaries lag behind.
I'm never gonna own a house!
As inflation soars, millennials find themselves burdened with unmet expectations, having striven for a dream that has turned out to be a mirage. Gen Z, witnessing this disillusionment, is increasingly opting out, unwilling to sacrifice their lives for an illusion. This, in essence, is the heart of our contemporary capitalist conundrum. I'm not wading into the political waters here, suggesting a shift towards socialism or anything of the sort. My focus is to highlight the misplaced critiques often thrown at millennials by boomers. who claim they merely complain too much and need to buckle down, avoid avocados, and forget Starbucks.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
In truth, a considerable number of millennials are wrestling with genuine hardship despite their best efforts. And it's this relentless struggle that's giving rise to a mounting sense of frustration. In the 5th episode of Beef, we witness a raw and revealing moment when Amy's patience wears thin. This is triggered by Paul, the younger brother of Cho, who casually dismisses her struggle, boldly claiming he could mirror her millionaire status in no time.
I have busted my ass for years. I've sacrificed my well-being, the well-being of my family. It's not millionaire in no time.
Beef also masterfully illustrates the dual nature of money in our lives. On one hand, it has the potential to be a transformative force, opening doors and paving the way to new opportunities. On the other hand, when the pursuit of wealth becomes obsessive, it morphs into a destructive force capable of wreaking havoc and tearing apart the world around you. So the show doesn't just simplify it to a rich people are evil narrative. Instead, it unveils how we're all, even the more fortunate, ensnared in this societal web. Naturally, it's somewhat more comfortable for those with thicker wallets, but no one is really immune. Beef truly shines in its ability to peel back the layers of our characters, exposing the hidden subtext in their words and actions. Right off the bat, we see Amy and Danny putting on a show, cloaking their true emotions behind a facade of make-believe.
Just make it stop.
Amy?
Yeah?
They're not doing it for each other, but for their families, friends, and colleagues. A classic example, Amy, who despite her internal turmoil, plays the contented wife in couples therapy. And Danny? He's tiptoeing around the countless rules his parents have set, even if they seem nonsensical.
I'm so sick of smiling, dude. Hi.
I bet many of us can relate to this. We've all been there in situations where our emotions seem to be more of a burden than a right. It's tough to be yourself when you're constantly on the receiving end of judgment.
You gotta start focusing on the positive, okay?
Consider Amy's response to Danny's bathroom fiasco. Her husband, George, doesn't initially back her up. Instead, he questions her reaction as if she might be blowing things out of proportion.
Did you upset him?
Why are you assuming it's my fault?
I'm not. But sometimes you can come across a little cold.
It's only when Amy suggests that Danny's misstep might be racially motivated that George finally steps up. It's clear there's a pattern here. Amy's emotions are frequently dismissed when they become inconvenient to George. Danny's situation isn't much different. His family is tough. His parents are always finding something wrong with him, while his brother seems more focused on his own life and ambitions.
When you die, literally no one's gonna care.
This constant belittling forces Amy and Danny to bottle up their emotions until they hit a breaking point, a release of pent-up rage that for a fleeting moment feels like liberation.
Well, to be honest, I hate pretending that I don't hate things.
But here's the kicker. You can't keep your feelings buried forever. Bottling up your emotions is like setting a timer for self-destruction.
What you did was not nice! It's not nice to do that!
I've been there, pushing down my feelings and bending over backwards to keep others happy. While I didn't hit the road rage phase or turn to substances, my health took a nosedive. For years, I was constantly sick, and it took some serious therapy to figure out that all that pent-up anger and frustration was eating me up from the inside. So it's no wonder that when Amy and Danny cross paths, their lives take a dramatic turn. It's not just the climax of years of pent-up emotions, but also the first time they can genuinely express their feelings without pretense. Sure, they show their uglier sides, but they finally get to be their authentic selves.
Say it again! I dare you to say it again!
Come here!
Say that shit again. Psychos.
You may be thinking, so all that pretense, rejection, and endless hustle led our characters down the dreary path of depression and existential dread, right? Well, you're not entirely off, but there's something more profound beneath the surface.
And I always thought the hustle was like the cause of this like feeling, but now I'm starting to wonder if it's just like always there.
It's no secret that we're living in an era where mental illness is pervasive. Depression, anxiety, obsessive disorders, etc., they're all on the rise. But why? Sure, financial woes and self-destructive tendencies play their part, but it's more than just a money issue or a generational one.
Man, it is beautiful out today. Fuck, I wish I was happy.
Often, we're inundated with glossy depictions of success on social media, seeing individuals who seem to effortlessly navigate this world. And it nudges us towards self-doubt. Is it just us? Are we the ones out of sync, feeling out of place? Take Amy, for instance. She clings to the belief that she's broken, that she's the bad one. Amy sees herself as the problem.
It is selfish for broken people to spread their brokenness.
But recently, I stumbled upon a phrase that hit me hard. When a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. It made me realize we are all these flowers, struggling to flourish in a world that often fails to nourish our growth. We're caught in an existential crisis of meaning that's pervasive in modern society.
We're stuck.
Yeah, and anytime you try to hold on to one thing,
Slips away.
In this era of hyperconnectivity, we're paradoxically detached. Social media platforms promise connection, but often fan the flames of isolation. They pressure us to present polished, picture-perfect versions of ourselves, which only deepens our feelings of alienation and meaninglessness.
Everything fades. Nothing lasts. We're just a snake eating its own tail.
A poignant example of our existential crisis unfolds in Danny's habitual hour-and-a-half ride to Burger King. He orders 4 chicken sandwiches, each seeming symbolic, as if designated for each member of his family, his parents, his brother Paul, and himself. Yet overwhelmed by a consuming loneliness, Danny devours all 4, attempting to quiet his pain with each bite. Our ancestors, thriving in tight-knit tribes, found both meaning and purpose in communal roles and shared experiences. Survival wasn't an individual struggle, but a collective endeavor, fostering a deep sense of unity and belonging. This fundamental human desire for connection, to be seen and valued, has been eroded by the relentless pace of modern society favoring individualism.
I think when nowhere feels like home, you just retreat into yourself.
Our struggles with mental health, often mistaken as personal failures, are in fact distress signals echoing within our society. They highlight a systemic inadequacy to meet the basic psychological needs of its members. As humans, we grapple with a ceaseless longing and existential quest for fulfillment.
I've never been able to describe this feeling inside of me, but I think that's it. Catch-22.
Right?
it's like a void.
We're all wrestling with our own catch-22, each trying to fill that inescapable void. So what's the antidote to our existential crisis? I wish I could offer a simple solution for the complex existential and capitalist crises we face, but we're dealing with intricate issues that don't have easy answers. But what I can provide is a sense of recognition. To you, the viewer behind the screen, I see you.
I see it all. You don't have to hide, it's okay.
You're not losing your grip on reality. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You're not the problem. The world around us, brimming with challenges, has become more daunting and lonely. I feel that too.
I think he just wanted to feel seen.
I mean,
We all do, right?
I can't promise a magical cure, but I can share this advice. Embrace mindfulness. Discover your unique purpose. Tune out the voices of others, focusing instead on your inner dialogue. What resonates with you in this vast, often chaotic world? Defining your purpose doesn't equate to solitude. It means finding your tribe, those who genuinely understand and support you. It's about discarding toxic relationships that undermine your authentic self. The cost of choosing the wrong path is steep and leads to a dead end.
Maybe we're not normal. Maybe we're too fucked up.
Or maybe normal people are just delusional, fucked up people.
Our modern existential crisis is a call to action. We need to reimagine society, putting connection, community, and shared purpose at the forefront. It's a collective mission, not just an individual challenge. In essence, this channel is my path, my tribe. I create content for those seeking depth and soulfulness. If that resonates with you, I invite you to join my tribe. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and become a part of our collective journey. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on the show and the topics we've explored. Share your insights, perspectives, or advice in the comments.
You could be the master of your fate, you could be the captain of your soul, but you have to realize that life is coming from you and not at you. And that takes time.